So as we get started, I want to share a little bit about my story on Fiverr, and in particular, I'm going to show you this chart here about my income progression, showing the first 11 months that I had on Fiverr. But I also want to talk about the other opportunities that Fiverr has created for me. It was really the catalyst for me creating Udemy courses and opening up a whole new revenue stream for myself online. And then I want to show you somebody else's story because it shows how this girl used Fiverr to jumpstart her own business. And there's a lot of takeaways that I think will be helpful for you. And even some of what she mentions there, I've done as well. It's been relevant for me. So firstly, starting off with my monthly income chart here. This was when I started back in August of 2014. And there's a couple of things that at a high level we can point out and see straight away that basically I started off earning nothing. I think it was less than $72 in the first month. But what you can see is in November of 2014, when I became a level 2 seller, the income had a big jump. And then when I became a top rated seller as well, there was a big jump after that, and eventually I got featured. So what you will notice there, and what I noticed from working on Fiverr, is that my income jumped significantly depending, and just after I went up a Fiverr level. That's why I think moving up the Fiverr levels is so important. That's why it should be your goal and what you're working towards, because it has a direct effect on your income, because you get more exposure. More exposure means more traffic means more sales. And the other main takeaway that I want you to have from looking at this chart is, you need to keep working. It doesn't, all of the results don't come immediately. But I did it in pretty good time here. You remember that to qualify and to move from a new level seller to a level 1 seller, that should take you a month. I pretty much did that. And then it took me 2 months to become a level 2 seller, and then 3 months to become a top rated seller. So 6 months in total. I think till I was earning money, that was significant. Now, I should say that I work full time, so that Fiverr is something that I do an hour a day on the evenings and weekends. And so I think I could grow it a lot bigger if I wanted to, but I've capped it because there's other things that I'm doing online. I have a job, etc. But essentially, there's no limit to what you can earn. You more gigs, keep going. And so I hope that sharing this income chart is helpful for you too. Two key takeaways are, number one, it's so important to move up through the Fiverr levels because that is a direct correspondence to income. And number two, it's not all going to come at once. Your timelines need to be realistic. I think this course will certainly help you get there a lot faster than I did. In terms of the revenue, I think in terms of moving up the levels, that won't change. But I hope that was helpful. Now, what else has Udemy helped me to do? Well, it was really the catalyst for me developing 7 Udemy courses. So what I noticed dealing with a lot of clients through Fiverr was they would have a lot of questions. I could see easily what they didn't understand. So I had, for example, an SEO report gig that I offered, and I could see that people didn't really understand SEO that well. There was a lot of holes in what they were, asking me questions about. It was obvious that they didn't know. And so that was my first course. I put together this SEO course, and that created a whole new revenue stream for me on Udemy, and it's grown from there. So that is another way that having a lot of contact with customers creates a huge amount of opportunity, because you can see what they don't understand. You can see what extra services they want, even on Fiverr. And some people, the crossover for me hasn't been amazing. Like, people on Fiverr don't necessarily want to learn and buy courses. They just want the service done for them. But there's a separate group of people, like people on Udemy, who want to learn how to do these things themselves. So my experience is that there isn't a huge crossover in terms of cross-selling, but it's opened up a whole new revenue stream to a whole new group of people, and that's extremely valuable. Now, the other story that I wanted to share with you was of this girl here. She published this article, or was featured in Entrepreneur magazine. It was viewed over 8,000 times, one of the most viewed articles on Fiverr. And it was really how Fiverr jump-started her entrepreneur. She had a very interesting take on this. She said, how do you get credibility if you want to start a new business? In your heart, you may believe you have the skills to start a new business, but you're stalling because you haven't proved it to anyone, not even yourself. And that is a great point. And I think one of the main reasons that I got started on Fiverr is I want to prove that I could actually do something without taking all the risk of, starting my own business and taking out a loan and quitting my job and all that type of stuff. So that is just a very interesting take. Now, subsequently, what she did was she built up a huge amount of credibility by getting all the testimonials, and then from there she really saw what people needed, what services were popular, and she set up her own business on her own web platform full time, and even still uses this Fiverr as a kind of a lead generation platform. So she says some other good points here. When you set up a Fiverr thing, you're kind of announcing your goals to the world, and that kind of helps you to follow through. You become a better communicator because you have to talk to customers all the time. Your work, you have to be more confident, maybe presenting your videos, etc. And the kind of learning the persistence that's really required to be successful. So, a lot of that is the same for me. I've had the chance to work with much bigger companies than I would have, like Amazon, Hertz.com, Callaway Golf, as I've mentioned in my gig description. I've worked with hundreds of businesses in 40 countries, which is fantastic for my credibility. And I have got hundreds and hundreds of positive reviews. So even if I'm going for a job that's related to this, they don't need to question whether I can deliver the goods, whether I'm a good communicator, whether I can, deliver work on time. All of this is online, it's live, it's like a living CV, and all of the proof is there. So sharing this, I think, before you get started is important, so you know what opportunities exist on Fiverr. It's much more than just the money. And it can open just up so many more revenue streams for you online. It's a great platform to even learn how to sell in a marketplace and compete with competitors. And so there's just so many reasons to get started on Fiverr. You shouldn't hesitate at all, or even if you've kind of defocused on it a bit, I think this is where you should refocus your attention if you're not sure what else to do online. If you want to start your own business, this is a great practice ground to even see what is popular, what services people want. You can always then set up your own thing and use this as more of a lead generation platform. So many opportunities. Do not hesitate to finish this course in full, implement everything, and really give Fiverr the attention that I think it deserves.